Breaking the Chains, the making of episode 2, and we have a brand new intro which Jim has never seen, which he will see for the first time. Oh. Now I've got to warn you, for this intro, this is probably the best music you've ever heard.
And I promise to try not to freeze.
Okay, sounds good. This is the show where Jim Lujan and Cory Kerr collaborate live. Lingering note. Wrote that myself. I don't know if you could tell that.
How did you do that without a studio during COVID?
I don't know. It's
crazy.
I woke up this morning and said and put it all together for me.
Is that going to be our final music, by the way? Or
I don't know. We can we can do whatever we want. Yeah. So
let's jump into it. Where we left off.
So where we left off was we were walking through the storyboard. Since the last time we met, you got me some assets and I put them together. So here's what I put together based on what you drew. So I've got the candle flickering, I've got the lights and the shadows on the bottles, and then I've got everything reacting. And you'll notice there's a little bit of really subtle distortion as people walk through the bottles. So there's 2 characters that walk through bottles, and you can see like a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So I wanted to make sure it wasn't like super whatever. But yeah.
That looks amazing.
And we got Jake. What's up, Jake?
Wow.
So yeah. So that's what I got based on what you did. Feedback changes.
I love it. Let's put it on a loop.
I will just have to click it over and over again.
Okay.
Just StreamYard is. So this almost killed my computer. I tried to. I had 9 3D lights in there, and my computer shut down as if there was like a power surge. It said some sort of memory error. And then it shut down. And I was like, whoa, I'd never seen it do that before. So I had to kind of fake the lighting. So anyway.
So you said there's a way to do that with 2D, right?
Yeah. So 2D, so I ended up doing it with 2D. I can show you bottles. Where'd it go?
I love it, by the way. You know I do.
Thank you. Let me find my...
The challenge is, while you're doing that, the challenge is going to be that the shots go so quick. So there's always that thing where it's like, watch how this one reflection happens at this second, but then that ends up getting cut. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, and that's fine. And I mean, I intentionally left. So this is the Photoshop file. So just each of these bottles has kind of an inside and outside.
Okay, yeah. And it's just chained together? They're chained together?
Yeah, so anything you group in Photoshop will be put into a pre-composition in After Effects. And so each one of these just becomes its own group. But what I was able to do is, this is just basically 60% opacity on the part I wanted to see through.
Wow.
And then each one of these, this is just a flame layer. So what button do I push? There we go. So you can see I just painted.
Oh yeah, it looks great. It looks so good.
Yeah, and so that just kind of flickers. And then the candle, probably did way too much, but I had like the glowing wax and then the jar, and then the flame is just like a gradient. It's just a radial gradient. And then I went in After Effects and did a little bit of a puppet warp on that one. And then there's a reflection that matches it. So that's also just a gradient. And so I had those move with each other. So they go like that. So there's just a little wiggle on the thing.
Wow.
Sorry, go ahead.
I really like how you have the movement in the background because it's not over. Because I do that same thing, but not as smoothly as you've done it. You know, it's a challenge so that it doesn't look like you're holding stick figures up too much.
Yeah, so I just put them. I just put a little bit of a wiggle on their X position, so they just kind of drift back and forth, except for the guy in the blue shirt and the blonde lady. Mm-hmm. I move them around, but everybody else they're just drifting about 20 pixels on X. So that sounds like some sort of drug reference. They're just drifting 20 pixels on X.
They're just drifting on X.
Pixel X.
You know. So. And then nice blur and everything. It's looking amazing until you drew that.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. What was that?
The candle.
Oh yeah, the candle. I tried to match what you're doing with the bottles. Okay. I think my lines are a little bit thicker, but
it looks great. It looks really, really great. Let me ask you this real quick.
Okay.
When you drew that candle, did you use reference or did you just have like an idea, like a glass and a candle? Because I wouldn't have thought of that.
I totally used reference.
Okay,
I wanted to see what hot wax looked like, and so I just looked up candles in a bar or restaurant until I found one where I was like, oh yeah, there we go. Because I wanted to get like the little gray bottom and then the molten wax that has like a more translucent property than the solid wax.
Wow.
So
can you zoom in on it?
Yeah.
Can you play it and zoom in on
it? Yes.
Let's see that.
It might need to render. Might need to render a little bit. So there it goes. Let me put a there.
That's pretty ridiculous. That's so cool.
Yeah. So the flame just has a. Oh, is my computer gonna freeze? So I just put a little wiggle behavior on it.
Wow.
And then the frame reflection has the same thing.
So let's.
Oh, you cut out.
Oh, let's watch the shot one more time.
Okay.
Wow. The perfect amount of blur, too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that was just a little bit of let's see, where's my main thing? And then throw this up. So I have my camera right here. And then let me put this back. Go to fit. There we go. So I have my camera right here, and it just has some transform controls, and then it has camera controls. And so I can go in with depth of field, focus, aperture. And so I just kind of turned the blur up to 432, like a ridiculous amount. And then you just dial in where the thing is, and your focus distance kind of shifts around. But anyway. So
timeline.
Sorry, you froze again.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with the internet tonight. Can you hear me now? Okay.
I can hear you now just fine. Yeah.
Okay. I saying that's all determined by the timeline.
So I didn't hear the middle of that sentence, but it's all determined by. So I have. Let me show you this. Let me just go to one view, and I'll change this to side. So this is looking at it from the side, and so you can see that all the layers are just spread out. So these are all the layers that are at the table, and then these are all the people, and then this is that background. So I just spread them out, and this is my camera. And so I just spread them out.
It's nothing showing yet on my screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So this is the camera, and then these are all the layers that are on the table, and then this is the people. These are the people in the backdrop, and this is the background behind the people. So I just kind of spread them out, and then the camera just focuses on the stuff right there. So this is like the table and the drinks and the napkins and stuff like that.
That's so cool. Whew, well, we got the first shot out of the way.
Yep.
First shot done. The color look great too, and that candle adds so much to it. So I'll try to use. I'm probably going to use most of that shot in the final because there's going to be some dialogue over it. I'm going to need to find some bottle clanking sound effect.
Yeah.
The rest is easy, but like I need to find because I don't want to record that myself because I'll break them.
Okay. So
if you've got any suggestions, or if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. I know some resources where to get some stuff.
Yeah, I would probably just end up recording it is what I would do. But
break any bottles, man. What do you want to? Do you want to look at the storyboard, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's look at the next thing we're going to do. Did you want to work on the exterior of the bar?
I was thinking about that. Maybe. Let's.
Do you have the new storyboard?
I got the new storyboard. Do we want to jump into that yet, or do we want to look at the existing storyboard and plan our next shot? And so what I was thinking was, like with this project, maybe we don't show, like, we're not going to show every shot. Okay, here's our next shot, because there's so many shots that we'd be at 3 years into this and be like, and now we're 13 seconds into the course. But what we'll do, we'll jump around. Like, we'll do some stuff we do, but we're in an important part right now, because and I think I can go back and do the interior. We can do that a little bit later, or maybe upcoming soon. But we're gonna have to start figuring out some of the main characters. Like, I'm gonna have to draw, the jock bro guy and the girls, and we're gonna have to design their faces and stuff like that. So if you wanna give me some specs, right now I was thinking of, the canvas that I use is like for main characters is like, I forget if it's 6,000 pixels by something. It's pretty big.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that should be.
Or maybe 4,000 by something.
Yeah, 4,000 or 5,000 is fine, because it just depends if we're gonna do like an extreme close up. I'll probably downsize some of those anyway, just so it doesn't kill my computer. Because if you have like 5 people at 6,000 pixels wide in a shot, it tends to choke everything out. But that would allow you to crop in pretty well, because the tallest it's going to be is no taller than 2,000 pixels, because it's 1920 by 1080, so it's just over 1,000 pixels tall.
Yeah.
So that should be fine.
The challenge I'm having is with Procreate, that it cuts off your images when they reach the edge.
Right.
So you have to be really careful. Oh, is this the new storyboard?
Yeah. Is this one?
Yeah.
Let me get the other one. The references. Let's just throw this up, just so that I can kind of see. So these are kind of the references that you gave me.
Yeah, like the mood, the colors and stuff. It's so funny. I'm giving you the references when I'm doing, like, I'm coloring it, But that's so you could kind of like just get a feel of the feel of the bar.
Stuff like this, where you've got like these like glowing light bulbs. If you put that glow on a separate layer, then I can have them flicker and fade in just by drifting it past a little bit. This one I felt like was really bright.
Yeah, that's a little bit bright, but it kind of gives, and like that, I wouldn't, it kind of just gives an overall feel of, because all of those 4 shots kind of have the same color scheme, similar color scheme. So it kind of gives a feel. Whereas it, like, it could have been a really blue lit bar, or.
Yeah.
And it is just like anything I ever do, it's going to end up having kind of a life of its own. It's going to kind of go where it takes us. So it'll never come out exactly how we plan it. So
yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's do this here. So basically we've got these two frames.
Yeah, so the next one's going to be the jock bro. First close up of him and his friends.
And we decided to have those guys kind of flank each other, right? So there'd be a guy there.
I turned the second friend, the blue shirt, into an African American. Okay. Because I meant to do that at the beginning, and I just colored him wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
when I was doing the quick colors, so I changed it. But yeah, there's going to be some nonsense going on. So he's going to have some. I'll send you. I know you're really curious to do the mouth too. You said the mouth a certain way.
Yeah, well, just because I feel like the way that's way too big. But if you give me like teeth, and gums on one layer, and then on another layer, give me like the inside of the mouth where you got maybe like lower teeth, and then tongue. And then, if you want to do like a uvula or whatever else, I'll take those together, and then I'll put lips around them. And then I can move the lower part of the jaw and the lips, and his lips will just kind of freak out around his teeth. But his teeth will be fixed to his, just like, our teeth are fixed to our skull, our lower jaw flops around.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because he's kind of annoying, maybe even like, I don't know if this is too much, but maybe even like a little bit of spittle or something that is almost not even noticeable, kind of flying out of his mouth. Where he drops.
So going back to the design of the mouth.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he going to have? Am I going to put an at-rest mouth for him, or are all the mouths going to be on different layers?
Yeah, you could do an at-rest mouth, and then so with him. I'm thinking of just not really having the mouth shapes match up with the sounds. I just want to like over exaggerate them and make them kind of gross looking. Just with the shapes kind of flapping around. With other people, if we want to do like, do I have my sketchbook with me?
Like an AEIOU type thing.
Yeah, I'll get you a list of the sounds.
Yeah.
Character Animator has like, certain sounds where it's like, whoa and oh are kind of inverted from each other, and some of that stuff. So we can get the mouths to kind of match up to the dialogue. But for this guy,
does Character Animator have anything where it has pre-made mouths for certain characters? Like you can throw a mouth on somebody and then just adjust it, like color it and.
Yeah, I mean, they have some examples. I have a sheet that I did. Let me see if I can find that really quick.
What I'll make a sheet of mouths for men and women and big teeth and little teeth. I'll give you like, 5-6 different lines, and you can just pick them for different characters, and then I'll draw an at-rest mouth.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me show you. Where is it?
While you're doing that, going back to the jock bro, I'm definitely gonna need you to. Well, I could actually rewind this video. Never mind.
I can kind of I can draw it out too. Where's the? Oh, it's engineer. That's who I did this with. Do I have?
So this is our first. This is our first shot at like how we're gonna do the faces and stuff like that. So. And I know some will be
you froze really bad. I don't know if you're still.
Okay.
Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Okay, so let me show you this. So like I did, I had the nose on top, and then underneath I had like the face, right, and the shadow and the jawline and all that. those were all separate so that I could move them with the mouth a little bit. And then the mouth has it has the D sound, it has the S sound, the F sound, the A sound, and like for example, like some of these have like a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And once you load these into the system, when it hears the sound A, it plays those two little frames. And so it's a lot of setup. Like there's M, O, and O does the same thing. Like I have O just gets a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found the easiest way to do it is to do the entire jaw as part of the mouth sound. Like they have you set it up differently, but it was easier. And this is W, so it starts, wuh, like that. And then R, I just use for the same thing. And so anyway, so there's a bunch of these. You can reuse some of them because some of them are fairly similar. But once we get like a male and female, like here's L, I just move the tongue down. But once you get a male one and a female one, I mean, you could go in and change the lipstick, alter the shapes of the things or whatever. So that's E. But after that, it's just,
Yeah.
Oh, and then you can also have, smile, sad, neutral, and
but the reason am I cutting out or am I okay?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I don't do this is why my cartoons don't take me a year or two to do. That's a lot.
Yeah, and once you set up that mouth, you can put it on any character,
mm-hmm.
and then it'll just roll. So
yeah,
and we can kind of decide the jaw doesn't have to move. It could just be on the face.
Yeah.
And I did another one of these where it was just like it was no lips. It was just the opening of the mouth, and so you could put it on any skin color, any man, woman, child, whatever, and it would just give you kind of a mouth shape. And there's other ways. Like I did another one that was like a nutcracker, where it was just the jaw just kind of moved up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you that one really fast.
And should I put the eyeballs and the blinks and stuff?
Yeah. So let me show you the eyes. So I have I have the blink, and what I've got is I've got two frames for the blink. So there's partially blink and there's all the way blink. That's if we want to do it in Character Animator. If we just want to do it in After Effects, it might be easier to do. But basically, Character Animator, whenever I blink, it will blink. And so it gives you like a little bit more natural head movement and a little bit of blinks and whatever. Sorry, you froze again.
Freezing? Am I freezing still?
You just came back, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with the internet. We should do it in After Effects, I think.
Okay. So, I mean, in After Effects, if I just have, that's not the one I want, this one. I just have this like eyeball on its own layer, and I can kind of move them around.
I can do that in After.
You froze again. Are you there? There we go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm here. I do not know what's going on with the internet tonight. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I can send everything on different layers, so we could just do it in After Effects. I think natural feel if we do it in After Effects rather than, I don't know.
Yeah, and I can sync that up to a controller, so that both eyes, kind of look and do whatever we want when I move the controller around. And the controller can map to stuff. So, I mean, if you wanted like something to fly by and for their eyes to track it, that'd be really easy, or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, the eyes we can do. So basically, if I take these out, they're just, it's just cut out. So
man, and then we're going to have to, so we have about, let's see, we have 5 more minutes. So maybe we can just quick 5 minutes talk about, am I probably going to draw different character gestures and stuff like that rather than puppet?
So do you want to do the next shot, or do you want to talk about like what are you planning on working on next?
Go to the next shot because it's a good example and it'll help with future shots too. Okay,
let me close this out. All right. Okay, so this is probably where you and I diverge quite a bit. So in this shot, your typical style is where you're going to have like the forearms and the hands be separate, and they usually start off screen, so you don't have to do like elbows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of gestures are you thinking for this?
And is the head going to be separate from the body?
Yeah. So if you just have the neck like go up and just kind of round out near the nose, I'll just plop the head right on top.
So what I'll do is I'll send you several different just motions of him doing like that. And this is be almost nice if we had an in-betweener, but we don't. But it doesn't matter because I don't want it to look too like flowy. I mean, it should be a little bit animated, a little bit like,
I mean, if you want me to, if you want to give me like one forward, one side and one back, I mean, I can string those together and it'll flip pretty quick rather than a jump cut.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes a jump cut isn't that big of a deal because if the hand's moving really quickly and you move it like this and then you flip to the other side as it goes through, nobody really notices that.
Yeah. So I'll give you the kind of the cool thing is I'll give you what my version of what I think the animation, with frames will be, and you'll be able to time it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And since we're not animating to a dialogue yet, it's just going to be.
You froze again.
Is it back?
Yeah, you're back.
I think it'll be a nice hybrid between our styles because it's not going to totally be, super where every whisker is on a different layer. But at the same time, it won't be my style exactly,
Yeah. So if I'm looking at this, just as far as his face goes, maybe that's the next thing we should do because that'll take me a few hours to set it up. But like, I'll want like his jaw on a separate layer and go all the way up to the ears and come across like that for his jaw, and then have his nose be like the other layer. So you'd have like ears, nose, and the top of his head. And then
let me ask you this. Is it possible? Would it be possible to cut those after the fact?
Yes, but I would have to go in and fill in the gaps.
It's going to be tricky to draw like that because,
so the way I've done it in the past is I'll draw it and then I'll go in after the fact and I'll make a copy of the face and I'll cut one up, just delete the other one, and then I'll go in and just fill in the gaps. So like I would delete everything from the nose down on the yellow layer, and then on the red layer I would just go in and kind of paint a little bit of skin above there so it doesn't have like the nose repeated, and that's pretty fast.
And so the jaw is separate from the mouths too. See the whole.
Yeah. So then the mouth. Let me do the mouth parts. So the mouth, you'd have the teeth and the upper part where you've got like the gums and whatever else. That's one. And then underneath that, let me switch colors again. You'd have like just the mouth hole. So just like a big area of black, basically. And then, whatever you want to put in there. It could just be black. It could be if you want. But if you want like a tongue or teeth or whatever, that would kind of go in there. And then I'll layer the green on the purple, the upper teeth and the lower teeth with the mouth hole in there. And then basically then I'll mask them, and the mask will become the lips. So the mask will animate and reveal the teeth and stuff like that. But if they're separate, then this layer can go up and down. Those are supposed to be arrows. My stylus isn't working right now for some reason.
That's all right. All right, that's going to be the challenge then. The body I can do. That's no problem. It's just a bunch of drawings. It's chopping up the face that's going to be, and this will be only for. Is this for this particular character, or are you thinking this is how we do all main characters? Because I gotta be honest. The whole putting the teeth on a different layer and having you mask stuff like that, it's not absolutely not natural for drawing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like I can draw it, and then I'm gonna have to go in and cut it up. And once I see it in effect, I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense. And
well, it just depends on how you want to do. It depends on how you want to do the mouth. I mean, how do you want to do the lip sync? Because I mean, there's a bunch of different styles of lip sync. Since
there's only two of us, I want to do it in the most energy efficient way. Because I don't want to do something, that would normally take a team of 7, 8 people,
So the most energy efficient way is everybody has facial hair that covers their mouth or was wearing a mask. You'll notice that a lot of my pictures are like that.
Yeah, it's during quarantine.
Right. And then I just wiggle the mask, and we don't have to do any of this.
It's because we don't have a colorist, we don't have a designer, we don't have. It's like, you know what I mean. We're kind of just doing. But I'll try that. I'm going to try that and try to cut.
Here's the thing with this. Once you get, like, if it's a main character that's going to talk a lot, right? You do all this work on the front end, and syncing it up is a breeze. Like what you normally do, where I've watched you do, like you're putting in the E's and the O's and the M's and stuff by hand. You don't have to do any of that.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it. I'm just trying to. I'm going to have to switch my brain so that when I'm designing it, like you said, maybe drawing it first and then going over it and duplicating it and somehow chopping it up that might be the way to go.
I'll tell you what, since I've already figured this out, instead of you figuring that out again, I'll put together like a quick tutorial of how I did it. And like,
okay, yeah.
And so I'll just put together a quick video. It'll be really ugly, but I'll put together like a quick video where it's like, here's the thing, and here's how I cut it up.
Everybody wins.
Yeah. And then, so there's that. The other way is, I mean, is how thick is his beard? Because if he's
it's not. I mean, you're going to see his mouth and stuff move. So for the people watching this that don't know, what Cory was referring to, when I do the mouths, I just draw a mouth like he has a at rest mouth, and then I put a mouth, like I'll fill the whole thing with skin color and then do a new mouth, and I use like 2 mouths or 3 mouths.
And what I'm saying is, if you still want to do that, you can still do that the way you want, and I'll just take your lip sync and just pop it on top of the character.
Maybe we do that. That might be the most, because I'm thinking when I say energy efficient, and I know you just do this once and it's done,
right? But
I'm also thinking for the art flow of things. Do you know what I mean? We could try it both ways. Why don't I try it? Because I can at least try it. Because what if I try it and I like it? So maybe we do that as an experiment.
I have a thing. I know we're a little over time, but let me show you this. I did one of these mouths. Don't save. For this guy, actually. Share screen. This is just a weird little test that I did to see. So his smile is just horrifying, right? It just looks super weird. But basically, I've got this black layer, right? Everything is annoying right now. And then I have the lower teeth and I have the upper teeth. and so I can move this around, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I go to them, I have these controllers, and this controller moves his hair, and this controller moves his mouth. So I just move this around.
Yeah,
And
I gotcha.
I can do all the mouth shapes because I'm basically just putting a mask around the teeth. And so that's like, if you get those parts, upper jaw, lower jaw, whatever's inside the mouth, tongue, in this case, it's just black, then I can just put a little controller on the mask portion of it. And then I just add a little stroke around it. In this case, it's purple, but it could be black or whatever else. And then after that, for this, I mean, I literally just, because I did one of these for a talking character, and I literally just put like a really fast wiggle expression on that. And so the controller just bounced around and the mouth was just flapping around. And it doesn't make actual shapes. It's just like, here's a bunch of that. It's the same way that I do beards. I just do the mustache separate than the chin, and then I just put wiggles on it, and I just vibrate it when they talk.
So with this way, is there no mouth shapes then? I mean, you make the mouth shapes through the mask?
Yeah, so this one there'd be no mouth shapes. This is what I'm talking about with this guy is you can kind of just make so there's 5 positions. There's the upper, extreme, lower, right, left, and center. And each one of those you just say what shape you want it to be when the controller moves there. And then it just decides as the controller moves around how much of each of those shapes to kind of do. And so basically I can do 5 extremes. And one of those would be at rest, where it's just a line. And then as I move the controller around, it'll just open and close the lips around the teeth. And so there'd be no lip sync. There'd be no anything. It would just be weird looking guy. Almost like the Barney from The Simpsons. Like his mouth is just all over the place. And like when he burps, it just moves into like wiggly lines.
We'll try it both ways. Like I'll draw and send it to you that way. And then maybe I'll draw and send it with different mouth shapes, like the way I did it, and just see how we feel. Because
now you cut out again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Okay. This next shot's good that we're doing this, because it'll determine how we animate faces for the rest of the film, pretty much. Talking characters, at least.
Right.
So,
yeah.
All right.
It depends, because we can kind of do different things, but for like each character. So, I mean, you don't, like when I do it, I've got people with facial hair. I've got people that are a bit more comical. I do them like this. People that are a bit more realistic, I'll do them like where I have like the 20 different mouth shapes and sync it all up or whatever. But I mean, so it just depends. So we can do kind of this guy who's kind of over the top comical. We can do the other ones with just your 3 mouth shapes and just kind of sync them all up that way.
You're a crazy talented mad genius, Cory.
I just experiment a lot, so I'm not sure if I'm crazy talented or whatever. But
well, so let's wrap it now. We went a little over, but
okay,
this is how it works. But so we'll meet up again next week, either Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll hit you with a little upper jaw, lower jaw, like tutorial of how I do the face thing. And
I'll hit you with a face.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be good. And then are we going to use, sorry, just really quick. It's all gone. Give me this. What's this background shot? Is this, do you have that background?
No, I have to draw it.
Okay.
I'm working on it now. And it's going to have, I have a bunch of more peeps, which are what I call my background characters. I have a bunch of more peeps separately. And I'll kind of do what I did last time. I'll place them in the shot and kind of get them to the colors that, the darkness and the lightness that, I won't blur them though, but
Yeah,
And then the same thing, I'll make some more signs in the back. I'm kind of getting a feel for the cartoon now.
yeah.
So.
Oh, you know what'd be fun with this guy? Give me his necklace on a separate layer. I want it to
Oh
kind of
Okay.
bounce around a little bit as he talks.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
And that should be it.
All right.
So
cool.
Eyebrows, pupils. I'll break down the face, but then the necklace and everything else can be one layer, and then you just give me all the hands and everything. And as you get them, I'll start piecing them together, and we'll kind of.
Okay. And if I just happen to forget to like put the eyebrows on, I mean, you can always go in and cut them out. But I'll remember.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. I'm still a little bit. I'll wait for your tutorial. The only thing that confuses me a little bit is when I'm drawing the face and I'm doing the teeth like that. How will I know? But I guess I've drawn him before. It's just I've never. It's just I guess till I do it, I'll.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah, I know what you mean. It just depends, but I mean, if for this guy, if you just draw him without a mouth, and then you draw the teeth, give me teeth, tongue, and give me upper teeth, tongue, and lower teeth. I can do the rest. And if it helps, you can draw the teeth, the way that you would, and then just keep drawing them up into the gums, basically.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I'm just saying, it's like drawing left-handed. It's just totally foreign. Like this is something that would be done. Guys are going. They took Jim's designs, and what we did is but I'm doing it ahead.
Right.
But hey, Salazar, Art Nation.
Yeah. So.
But I'm going to try it. And I have a feeling when I try it, I'll be able to do it.
Yeah, and I'm going to fight the urge to try to push you to overcomplicate things, because I tend to overcomplicate things. So we'll kind of
that's the other thing too. Yeah, because we don't want one shot to take, a month. You know what I mean? Right. Like we do want to make it an easy method for us.
So I kept track just out of curiosity, and this shot I got done in less than 4.5 hours. So, and that was because a lot of it, I had probably an hour to 90 minutes of that was me cutting everything up with the bottles and stuff. So probably the whole thing was about 3 hours. So okay. I can get a shot done like that in an evening.
So the other thing, between comfort zone, and like what just works. So like, for example, if we figured out a way to do something that took.
Oh, you froze again. This is the worst. I hate that there's random freezing and that we have no idea why.
Okay.
Okay, now you're back. Yeah. There you
go. We also, this will teach Cory the value of cheating. So if we can figure out how to do something in 10 minutes versus 2 hours and 10 minutes, then maybe we go with that. For example, if we ended up using mouth shapes, flipping them. Although I get what you're saying, because when you do it once, for you, it's going to be a lot quicker. The challenge is for me when I'm creating it, it really is like drawing left-handed. It's like I get where.
Oh, you cut out again. But yeah, the challenge is, and I did this when I was collaborating with Scott too. I know what I need. I don't always know how to articulate what I need, but if I have to cut up all of your assets all the time, it's going to take it's gonna take forever. So
yeah, and I wouldn't want you to do that. I mean, that's against child labor laws.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I think honestly, because knowing what we're doing, we're just going to have to put no time limit on this show. Like there might have to be a 3.5-hour episode because it's actually better for us, I think. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. I'm not, the whole 30-minute thing is, it's nice to shoot for it, but I think we should just have whatever conversation we need to have. It's not like we're going off into the woods and talking about, politics or whatever. I mean,
it's like we're having therapy.
Right.
We're going through couples therapy online.
Yeah. I think depending on how quickly you can get this guy done, I can put him together really fast. And so if we're looking at a week's worth of work, we can either do like a big meeting like this where it goes longer than 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe do a couple like quick check-ins, like, hey, here's a 10-15 minute where I just say, here's an update, here's what I've got, what are you going to do next, and then you take off. Because I could probably do 2 or 3 of those a week, and it'd be quicker to do that than waiting until next Monday and do another big hour-long thing. You know what I mean? Because I'm just looking at this next shot right here, if I can zoom in on this, and I could get this done too really fast if I had. I mean, I'm assuming that they're not going to move a lot.
No.
Probably get some eyes, maybe a little squinting or something, so that I've got pupils, I've got squinting. I can probably just, if you just put their mouth on a different layer, I can go in and just warp it so that the corners of their mouth turn down or whatever. So, I mean, this to me looks like you've got his upper arm, his forearm, and maybe a couple different hands, and he's just kind of gesticulating wildly, and they kind of just scowl and whatever. I mean, we could do this whole shot really fast too. So
I agree.
Let's do this tonight. Before I go to bed, I'll get you the breakdown of how I do the faces. And if anybody's interested, I guess I can post that to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's not going to be like a normal, really polished tutorial. It's going to be like because this whole thing is how professionals collaborate. And so when professionals collaborate, it's not like I want to put in like nice intro music and edit it really nicely. It's going to be like uncut, straight, me talking to the camera without a script or whatever. So that's what you'll get, because that's what we're doing. So
yeah. And
you can watch that.
I'll say this as I cut out probably, but this for me is about the delicate balance between comfort zone, where you're good at something and you know how to do it, and the unknown, uncomfortable, where it's uncomfortable to approach it that way, but it's going to be better in the end. And then kind of looking at both and going, oh, I like to be here, because I might end up more over here at the end of this, or I doubt if I'm going to stay exactly where I'm at. This is going to be a learning thing for me too. It really is. But I also tell you too, Cory, I will look for, because I'm all about, and so are you, I'm all about telling a story.
Oh yeah.
So everything I do is going to be geared towards that rather than geared towards just pure animation. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be sometimes we just cut a scene super quick and her arm doesn't need to move. And then there's going to be other times where it does. Like I that opening shot, I love it, by the way. Completely love it. Yeah. I got to find some sound effects for that. So
yeah. And I've got some glass I can.
Well, yeah, the bottles clinking, falling on the table is what I need. The rest of the stuff I got the backgrounds, I got the clinking of bottles. I just don't have bottles like falling on a table.
Yeah. So. I did some Foley for that animated short, Put Your Heart Into It.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got some ideas that could work with that. I think if you put like some keys, and then a couple, actually my daughter just broke a bowl, so I could just put like a container, like a plastic bag, or no, that would not make sense. Something that isn't going to make noise with some of those broken shards in it, and then just pound the table. I think you'd get the sound.
Or if I can go to a bar and just
pick a fight with
and then slam down a bottle on a table.
There you go.
Wait, I didn't record it. Hold on. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Wait, stop.
Yeah. That's how professionals work.
Yeah, just incite violence to get the sounds you need.
So Cory, how do you feel about the grand task ahead, and how do you feel about my perspective of we're a two-man party, so we need to learn how to work very sparse or very quickly and
yeah, this is probably you're gonna laugh, but what I'm asking for is sparse for me because I would typically have like
I know
every piece of
you'd have every eyelash on a different layer, and
that way
and
you can move them if you need to.
I know you're a crazy madman. That's what you are.
But I'm looking at this, like if you look here, I bet you give me a back shot of this guy and you do upper arm, lower arm, shoulder, back of his head and everything. You wouldn't need to do that for that. We could use the same asset for both.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then what we're doing up here we'll go
down there. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. And then when we come to that, we can say, oh, we're going to reuse this. So don't, and then you can even reuse backgrounds and blur them out. That's exciting because I love just beating the system. That's where you and I are like that.
So if you do I love sheeting stuff so that it works. But if you're doing him, I'm just trying to think. This is going to be 1080 tall, and so he would need to be at least. So yeah, if you put him like 4,000 or 5,000 pixels tall, then I can cut in on that shot without it pixelating. So that should be fun.
Okay, and then also feel free, for example, the next shot, the middle shot. This very the two close up of the. Yeah, if you ever want to, and I'm not volunteering for this, but if you ever want to, like throw a reflection or shine into her glasses or something, I did.
Super easy.
Yeah, stuff that I'm not thinking of.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey Jim, I tried this out. I threw some purple light on the side of her face for a second. Things like that. Feel free, go to town if you have the energy and interest to do so.
Sure.
So, I mean, you're co-art directing this with me, so.
Yeah. So for that, if you make the glasses a separate layer, and then the glass on the inside of the glasses a separate layer.
You're making more work for me now.
Well, you had the
idea. I said if Cory feels like, not if Jim feels like. Jim doesn't feel like that. Jim's lazy.
Okay, so here's a question I had about your initial. A lot of this had like a fuzzy edge to it. Like your darker ink lines don't, but some of the coloring was like bleeding off, and it kind of works because it's like low light and it's reflective material and stuff. But if you're painting with a hard edge brush on the glasses,
I'm not. I'm using the fill in Procreate.
Yeah.
That's.
But does that give you an alias line or an anti-alias line?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I can tell you.
I'll look because I could just hit it with a magic wand and it might give me what I need. Is what I'm saying. Like I could just auto select it rather than having to.
For example, the table. Does a table do that at the edge?
Yeah. So the table's great. There's no fuzzy edge, but the bottles.
I'll just have to look out for it. And if anybody, I'll just have to look out for it, and I'll have to look. I'm really not. I'm super basically familiar with the pens and the fills and stuff like that in Procreate.
Yeah. And it's fine. I like the way it looks. It just makes selecting some things harder. But like you notice, like her arms, there's like a purple.
Oh, I did that. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, add ambiance, which is great. But if you think of it, if you're like, oh, this might be helpful to toss that on a layer just above her arm, I can group those together. But then it gives me the ability to select with a magic wand rather than.
Oh, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I'm kind of giving you finished art when I send it instead of the elements. I get it. It's so hard. It's hard to think like that, Cory, because then. But I know what you mean.
It's okay. I actually figured out a really easy way to do the bottles. I did the first 2 bottles a stupidly complicated way, and then I was like, "Oh, this is dumb." And so then I just took a big eraser with a really fuzzy edge and just kind of fuzzed out the middle of it. So
See, Chris Webb likes the bottles and her arm. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
I do
he
too.
is correct. I also
Yes.
like. They look good.
And has anyone ever drank Tiger Star beer?
Is that a real beer?
No, I just designed it for this.
Okay, good. Yeah. So if you think of it like the glasses, you're like, oh, it'd be cool if, it'd be cool if Cory could do something with those glasses. Just
okay.
Separate layer, default to a separate layer if possible.
All right. I will rethink that. So, all right, let's do this. Let's wrap it for tonight. Our next one that we do, I don't know when it's going to be. What do you think?
It depends on how far we get. Let's just meet when we're ready. So
okay.
It'll probably be in the next 48 hours, I would imagine. And we'll just do like a quick 10 to 12 minute one just to catch up on where we are and where we need to go.
Okay. Or we do a 4-hour one on Monday.
Yeah.
5-hour marathon. All right.
But right now I'm in between semesters, so I can get a ton of this done because I'm not going to work for like 2 weeks.
Oh, cool. I'll get as much as I can done and we're definitely going to have to, we'll have to figure a method that doesn't kill you too.
Yeah. The main thing is if I don't have to cut up your artwork, that's awesome. That's the best.
I get it.
That's the most important thing.
All right. So, deal.
Okay, cool. Looks
all
good.
Right.
Okay, so for everybody watching, if you want to follow along, I'm going to post a link to the thing. But you can just follow this YouTube channel. This is when I'm going to go live on the YouTube channel. But also there'll be a little. There's a link to a Slack group. Let me put that up really quick. There we go. So if you go to corykerr.com/online, there's a little. I'll just start posting whenever Jim and I decide like, hey, we're going to do a thing. I'll post it to that Slack group. So that if anybody wants to make sure you don't miss anything, I mean, we'll leave all these up unedited, so you can watch. But if you want to watch it live and ask questions or whatever, you can do that. And I don't have it up yet, but eventually, if you go to corykerr.com/chains, we'll have like a page dedicated to this project where we put stuff. So, and
in the meanwhile, go watch Unchained Fists so you guys can see what we're riffing off of.
So this is Jim's website and how you spell his first and last name. And so if you find him on YouTube,
that takes you to my YouTube page.
Great.
Yeah.
So go to jimlujan.com, watch the Unchained Fist so you know the character that we're working with, and then and we will see you when we are done doing the next part.
All right.
Okay. See you again.
Okay.